Hello, welcome to another day in the life of Selena. This happened earlier this January. My husband and I decided we wanted to watch the Avatar movie in 4DX. We went to Universal Studios Singapore in December and we decided that we'll watch the Shrek Forever or something in Universal. And we were quite happy with it. We really liked it actually. So we came back and we booked the tickets. So on the day of the movie, my husband went out and he came back home a bit late. Movie was at 8:30 and he came home by like 7:40 and we were running short on time. So I was making fried rice. I had kept the rice on the stove to cook. It was everything was in a frying pan and my husband came a bit late and my husband was telling me about something that was going on at work and everything and I left. And then we reached the movie theater 8:30, and then there was like a 30-minute uh, slot in which they just played trailers. And at around 8:55, I remembered that I forgot to turn off the stove. And for some background, the stove at my house is not a fire-based one; it's the induction-based stove. And by this time, I started panicking. Not because of like burnt food or something. I was thinking if the food is burnt, then there'll be smoke in the house and the smoke alarm will go off and fire department will come home and because it's a false alarm, they will charge us a heavy fine. And I was just thinking and thinking and thinking and I was spiraling about it. And then I started talking to my good friend ChatGPT. And ChatGPT was like, if you can, go home and turn it off. And I was like, oh, if I tell him, then he'll be like, oh. So that whole thing was happening, and I finally told 9 o'clock the movie started, and 9:10 I said, I think I want to go home. And he was like, why? I said, I forgot to turn off the stove. So by this point, I was having my phone and I was having his phone. And I was like checking on ChatGPT. I was like, oh, this is happening. And oh, what do I do? And my husband was like, okay, let's go home. He was like, no, I'm not angry. This is completely normal. It could happen to anybody. Let's just go home and let's sort this out. So we went back home. The stove was in fact on, and I turned it off. And thankfully, nothing had been burnt. So the stuff was on the cooker, sorry, on the frying pan for like 2 hours, and it was on four, like really low heat, and everything was okay. And then I came, so I got down before he could park, and I was like, I'm running up, and I went and I turned it off. And I came down, and I was like, okay, I turned it off. And he was like, do you have my phone? I said, no, I have my phone. And then he was like, I don't have my phone. And then I opened my phone and I looked at Find My, and I saw that my husband's phone location was still in a movie theater. And I was the last person to use it. And he was like, oh, Selena. And then we got back into the car and started driving back to the movie theater. And the time at this point was like 9:50. And by the time we reached the movie theater, and it was 9:40. And then by the time we reached the movie theater, it was 10:05. And we thankfully, the entire duration, the 30-minute drive, I was just looking at the Find My, where is the phone still there? Is the phone still, the location is still live. And then we reached the movie theater. We got the phone, and my husband was like, so he was really hungry. I was not. I had a lot of snacks, and I was like, we came this far. Why don't we watch the movie for some time and then go? And he was like, speechless. Yes, absolutely speechless. And then we did watch the movie. We still stuck around for like an hour. And then honestly, the Avatar movie was boring. It was long and it was slow. And that is how we drove for 60 kilometers during the duration of the movie and still watched a part of the movie. Follow for more stories of how I forgot to use my brain. Until then, see ya!